convert those opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's have this conversation. Who's the best ruck in the comp right now?
It's a good conversation. I would have to say right at this... Okay, there's two different conversations. Who would I take or who is the best right now?
Let's go who is the best.
I think the best performing ruckman right at this minute is Tristan Sherry.
Fair. What makes him the best ruck?
I don't think you're wrong.
What makes him the best ruck? He's a physical beast. So he bullies other ruckmen when the ball... If there's an opportunity for a more athletic type ruckman to run and jump at him, he's really good at being able to stop that. He's really good at being able to bring the ball, I guess, like closer to the inside and then impact from there. So he does a lot of... Like North Melbourne don't really have a defensively minded midfielder. So Tristan Sherry does a lot of that work for the North Melbourne mids. He lays big tackle numbers. Like he's up at 7-8 tackles a game, which is incredible for... Even if you were a ground level player, that'd be amazing. So he does a lot of that stuff. He pushes forward. He does kick goals, which is really handy. And what he's done this season, I think, where he's upped his game is he's not grabbing the ball out of the ruck and just sort of bashing it forward like he was a lot last season, using his physicality and then getting it forward and just kind of turning it over and other teams would run the ball past us. He's actually kind of getting the ball more in the hands of the midfielders. And yeah, I just think if you just the body of work of this season, I'd say he's playing the best football as a ruck.
Who would you go with?
Stats wise, like last year, I kind of lent towards Wits being the best.
Okay.
I like that though.
Just because he is unmovable, like straight up unmovable. And he's not particularly amazing around the ground. In fact, he's probably pretty bad. But he's so good at the contest for like a tap ruck that it kind of doesn't matter. If I'm looking at rucks that I want in my team, I want them getting the ball to my midfield. I want them getting that opportunity to win it.
I agree with you in the sense as well that if I've got that midfield, which is Noah Anderson, Matt Rao, Bailey Humphrey, Touk Miller, those guys that can hurt you, he can give them that.
Bang on.
Whereas not every ruck in the competition, like even a Rowan Marshall, he gives you guys so much on the outside and in transition, but he doesn't necessarily give your mids like first use or anything like that.
No, not at all. And that's where like there are some rucks that can do a little bit of both. Sherry's definitely one that can do a bit of both.
He's not as athletic and outside as a TDK or a Rowan Marshall. And when you asked that question off the top, Druzy, like I was thinking in my head, I wouldn't take Sherry. If someone said, like, you can take any ruck in the comp, it wouldn't be who I'd take. I just think he's playing the best football.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was going to say then, like, who would you take? The second question. Would you rather Luke Jackson or Jared Witts in your team right now? Right now. Next week, go on a gather round. You get to choose your ruckman. Is there a better ruck?
Who's my midfield?
Yeah, it's almost like who's your midfield, who's your opponent in some regards. Like... Because there's days I'd say Sherry's way better options.
I think I'd take Luke Jackson just for the modular.
Yes. And to be honest, there's like before this match, I was sitting there going like, could Jackson go back? And there was a moment he did. Yeah. And like potentially he's the most versatile of any of these options.
He's more of a forward than any of the others.
Yeah.
But he's maybe not at the same time. He's not like fully a forward.
No, not at all. And that's where I think like the development is still there for Jackson. Whereas you couldn't say that about a few people that are of the same ilk.
100%. Ben Johnson in the chat says, if we're going on this weekend, Darcy Cameron has to be a shout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Darcy Cameron just can't do some of the things that some of those other guys that we're talking about can do.
He's just honest, solid, traditional ruck, Darcy Cameron.
Yep. I think he's a really smart player too. Like there's so many times late in quarters he does that same thing I was talking about with the English where he drifts across, takes a big intercept mark. He doesn't have the same, I think, running ability and speed of some of those other guys. Like if he's playing on TDK, we saw it actually at the weekend, Druzy. He played an unbelievable game, Darcy Cameron, but in the first half, I reckon he was down. Yeah.
No, I saw that match as well, and like I'd say Cameron is almost in a similar vein to Witts. Like you're going to get good results out of the contest. Once you start moving around the ground, if he's not clunking those sort of marks out of defence or kind of being that link-up player in general, through a contested mark generally, it's going to be hard for him to get involved.
Amazing pickup though. For the Pies, like getting him off the Swans.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, these aren't like I'm not talking about it in a negative light. At least I'm hope I'm not. So yeah,
you've been pretty hard on him.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
maybe.
joking. I'm joking.
No, but I think he's great. You're right. He doesn't have some of the qualities that the other rucks have.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd put him in that sort of top 3 to 5.
If you're giving me a swing at any of these guys, it's TDK.
Yeah.
Like he's the most
You
fun.
prefer TDK over Luke Jackson?
Yeah.
TDK,
Yeah, I
Luke
would.
Jackson, and Jerry would be like my kind of.
Speaking of good pickups and rucks with attributes, one of the better, more underrated endurance rucks in the competition. Copped an L today, but Jordan Sweet has been a good pickup for
Yeah.
Port Adelaide. He has a lot of growth.
Very good.
I think he's a similar type ruckman to Darcy Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's in that same sort of mold. Like not quite the physicality of a TDK or a Jackson or someone like that, the athleticism, but
Not at all. But he puts in really hard work, and it seems like a lovely dude.
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
On the chat.
Some would say he's sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Juicy, did you pick your ruck?
I'd go Luke
Oh, you went-
Jackson. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I figured like you had to, right? Like,
How can you not? I reckon right now you choose all Australian team. Luke Jackson's in that. I reckon
Fair.
edge of it, yeah, at least. Yeah.
he's a freak. The kid is an absolute freak.
So do you guys reckon right now if they were calling the All Australian
I'll
ruck,
probably be Cherry, wouldn't
do you
it?
think it would be Cherry?
Yeah,
Cherry
I've
or
watched enough-
Darcy? Because for me,
Yeah.
it's like Jackson could float forward as that second ruck forward type
Yeah,
role.
they never choose two rucks though, do they?
Do you think there's a
They do on the
conversation?
bench. They don't
Yeah.
choose them in the forward line.
They would do a Luke Jackson type
Yeah.
as a second ruck for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
I'd like to see it.
Do you think there's an element though in a conversation around the All Australian ruck that like Max Gorn got it last year, didn't he? But they finished bottom 4, bottom 5. Like, do you think
6,
there should be wins taken into it as well?
Nah.
Because I think there are. Okay, so that's fair. But I think there are.
No, fair.
No, it's fair that you don't take wins into it. But I think there was a part of Max Gorn winning it last year that was a little bit.
It was odd.
We know what he
No,
can do.
he had
Like,
an incredible year.
did he?
Yes.
You're too easy on Melbourne.
Yeah, I got a bit of a soft spot for him.
I really thought Sherry was going to win it. Like,
Was that just because like Gorn's been at the top of his game for so long that there was someone that was new and a bit different, and they're like, oh, that's the hot option. It's like tipping North against Sydney. Like, oh, North are looking all right. And then it's
probably,
like, bang.
But on
you
the
look
flip
at them
side of
right
that-
now, and you'd probably go, oh, Gorn's maybe getting over that hill.
I
Yeah,
reckon he
I
was.
think he is
I reckon he
now.
was sliding last year.
Yeah.
And I reckon there's an element where you could say the flip side to what you said, Druzy, in that he's the safe pair of hands, and saying Max Gorn, it's just the nostalgic pick, and no one's going to
Yeah.
argue. They're like, yeah, he's a champion of the game.
It's like I think there was a few moments there towards like even Lockett, right at the end of his career, where he got into All Australians from Sydney, and it's like, well, he probably wasn't the best full forward at the time.
Was he kicking 80 goals a year though?
Yeah, but there was others kicking 100.
True.
So like,
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those ones where I think he gets in on name in a lot of regards.
To round out and put a ribbon on this, give me a top 3 rucks in the competition right now. Start with you, Woody.
Yeah, I feel like we've half nailed him. I'd probably go TDK, Sherry, and I'm missing the one we just said before.
Marshall? Would you not go
no,
Marshall?
Luke Jackson.
Okay.
I don't think Marshall's top 3.
Yeah, okay.
No, I think he's like very close, but like until he can start tapping it down the midfielders' throats, he's just not an amazing
Top 5?
ruckman.
Do you reckon he's top 5 in the comp?
Probably edge of top 5.
Oh, it has to be top 5 for me. The Martian,
Fair enough.
for sure. I'd go TDK, Tristan Sherry, and
How can you not?
yeah,
I think they're the top 3 at this
Yeah.
point. Like,
yeah.